Oh, say, can you see the dawn's early light? Was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad storms and bright stars through the perilous night. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets regular the bombs bursting air gave proof through the night that flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome to Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast with your hosts, Doug Macedo, Jim Roba, Ginger Mudson, and David Tilley.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Homeland Heroes Salute. I am your host, Doug, and today we've got a special guest. As you see him on our screen already, it's Hoppy Camper. He's got his own following, he's got his own YouTube, and I'm going to pass it over to Hoppy Camper and have him just break it all down and provide us what's going on.
Hi, Doug. Really happy to be here. Do you want me to look in the camera?
No, you can look in whatever
I can
camera.
look whatever, dude.
He's actually, just so you know, this is fun and unique. This is what we do. We are spontaneous. He is in the same room as I am, but we're on two different cameras.
Just because it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm about 10 feet away from Doug, so I wanted to do this in person, even though it looks like we're in a different place, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm Hoppy Camper. I'm a veteran, U.S. Coast Guard. I did 24 years, and now I do YouTube.
I mean, so now you do YouTube. YouTube what? YouTube, as I know, I've seen some of the videos and what you're looking on, what's in the background of you. Give us some of the things of the things that you do as a YouTuber, as a
content generator.
Yeah, content generator.
An influencer.
Influencer. There we go.
If you look at the background here, you'll see that's an abandoned apartment complex, and what I did was I go camping in the woods and I drink beer, and I go places that you really aren't supposed to go camping, and so this was an abandoned apartment complex, and I just go camp, check it out. I bring beer, hence the Hoppy, and we try out beers, and I just bring the cameras along and have a lot of fun, man.
Man, hey, so speaking of beers, we've got the Treehouse Brewery right not that far from here.
What town is that in?
Right here. It's in Charlton.
Yeah, is that nearby?
Yeah. You can actually go through the woods back behind my house and get over there.
Wow.
You know.
Treehouse is legit.
Yeah, it's a good one. Unfortunately, I can't even drink anymore. As a lot of people know, I did my drinking, my fair share while I was in the service. But needless to say, I can't drink no more.
No, yeah, I got you.
But it's I'll tell you, it's just still be able to be around it. It's still nice. I can still cook with it. I can have stuff like that.
Yeah. No kidding.
But man, those were the days of being able to go drink and having like the board of a bunch of different beers and just taste each one of them, and it's like. I think it was like $30 or something. And you would get like 7 or 8 different drinks.
Yeah.
And it was always tasting them, and I'm like, oh, this tastes so good.
It's come so far, man.
Oh, man.
It's fantastic. It's a blast.
Oh, I can just imagine. And so you go out and about with the camping, and you do the drinking of the beer and stuff like that, and doing the adventuring out, looking into these. Certain places that, could be abandoned, ran down, nobody's there anymore. I know you've done a one at a water park where you stayed overnight and you did all that.
Yes. It's called, we call it stealth camping.
Yes.
Where you the abandoned one's a little more like abandoned camping. There's not going to be too many people around, but the stealth camping, where like I've done it behind a Dunkin' Donuts, or I did it behind another restaurant, and then I go and usually order food from that restaurant and pick it up. So you camp in plain sight.
Have you ever tried having them deliver it to you?
It's in the queue, man. It's in the queue. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I need to order. Yes, give me a grinder. Yeah. Oh, where are we delivering? Oh, just to the back of your parking lot. you would see the tent.
Imagine that, yeah. Oh, there's a guy out back there. And, every once in a while you get caught. And that's good for suspense. It's good for the camera.
But it's fun. It's very intriguing to have it, and
keeps you going, man. Yeah, it's just it's a lot sometimes.
Oh, I can imagine. And again, I mean, even being a kid when I was growing up, we did the same exact stuff.
Yeah.
We used to go and adventure out and go into these places. Even into the sometimes underneath the apartment complexes where I grew up, it was all like it was empty out underneath of it because it was just pillars.
Yeah.
And it was dark areas, and I'll tell you, it was that was even intriguing because I grew up in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, being up here, being down there, it's two different types of living. But it was always very intense when you were able to go out and venture out to these places because again, you're enjoying it, and there's a lot of places that were always shut down. There was one that was it was Nova Road and Bellevue. Was it Bellevue? I think it is, or something like that. It's now there's a what do you call it? Domino's Pizza and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude.
But at that same place, when I was growing up, it was an old orange factory.
Oh, no
so
kidding.
they used to process oranges that were coming off the groves, and they would process it, put them into the bags, and they would go through this whole conveyor, and we used to go into this place and adventure around it.
Yeah.
And now it's not there, but
Yeah.
it was very spooky because it was there for, God knows, it was like 30s, maybe 40s.
Wow.
And it was still there when I was a kid.
Yeah, man.
And it was fun.
Yeah, growing. That's what I'm doing now. Like I did the military thing, and now I'm back. I feel like a kid again. I go in the woods and I hide from cops and drink beer.
Yeah. Hey, you're doing it now. You're doing the hiding from cops and drinking beer legally.
Yes.
And you're still stealth camping. It's still stealth camping. I'm going to say that still needs to be 100%, legal, because again, there's nothing that you're doing. You're not vandalizing nothing. You're not doing any of that. You're not promoting any of that. You're just enjoying the outdoors.
Just hanging out in the outdoors, man.
And having a few beers. And
bringing the camera.
Absolutely.
And sharing it, yeah.
It's just like me sitting in my house right now and doing this, doing the podcast. It's like, it's nothing, it's fun to do this, and it's totally illegal.
Yep.
Same thing. Come on, people, get with the program. You got everything else legalized, but it's society. But anyways, I mean, what are other things, what is one of the most kind of adventure that you've done on the stealth camping. What's like one of the most amazing ones that you've done?
I was stealth camping in a graveyard, and it was in the White Mountains. It was in the National Forest, and I was unaware that nearby me a guy had a gun range.
Yeah.
And so I was out. You can see that episode. It was a year ago, Halloween, and I was in the woods by a graveyard, which is enough. That's already that's already enough, man. And I didn't realize it, but right around the woods there was a guy with a gun range, and he was bucking off rounds for hours, man.
And he probably has one of those sand dunes that probably, maybe, potentially, hopefully.
Yeah, totally. I don't know, man, but I figured when it got dark, he'd stop, but he didn't, and so he must have had lights and stuff. Whatever. It's already unnerving enough to be out there.
Yeah.
And now I got gunshots.
Hey, you could be down in Daytona Beach and getting gunshots.
Yeah.
And not even camping.
Yeah, dude. No.
Or you could be at the bar getting gunshots across the street.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
I've known some stories where I've even seen where it's like, kids grow up and they hear the gunshots and they never learn how to walk until they're like 16, 17. No. But that's what it'll be if you're growing up in Daytona Beach. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
You got Jean Street down there right next to that used to be the old police station, and I'll tell you, it was the Jean Street projects, and there was more gunshots there than it would be at a police firing range.
Wow. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
But I mean that's kind of neat. I mean, still, it's amazing that you do these things, and that you're able to go and do it, which. You got Mrs. Hoppy Camper, in one of the episodes going to the water park.
Yes.
She was dropping you off at the place, and she was like, "Okay, see you later."
Oh, she's always like, I can't believe my life. When I did the cliff on a highway, and she pulls over the highway and lets me out, and then has to pick me up later the next day.
Oh, there's a place I got to tell you about that's not that far from here.
Oh yeah.
It's it was actually on Rescue 911 back when I was a kid.
Oh wow.
But we'll tell you off the air, and so you can
yes,
you can venture out.
Check that out, right?
Absolutely, and then you can post it whenever that is, or if by the time we post this, you've already probably done it.
Yeah. Right.
So
it's a little tough, I will say. This time of year, they call it stick season.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, you can just see through the woods, man.
You can
see so far.
You can see through the woods in my backyard right now, and you can see my neighbor.
Which 8 months of the year you don't.
Correct.
Yeah.
They don't see me. I don't see them. Unless we're going through the woods.
Yeah.
Or not through through the woods if we're walking, or if we're driving around. But usually you can go right out the back door and just, and nobody sees you.
You don't see anybody. But right now, I mean, they call it stick season.
Yeah.
And dude, it's a lot harder right now to stay hidden.
Yeah.
Stay stealthy.
Have you tried using one of the blind setups for?
It's in the queue. I haven't used one yet, but it's coming. That'll help, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe one of the episodes or something. I may have to go on with you and go do this because
you would know how to set that up.
I absolutely would, and I may not even want to even set it up. I may just want to sleep underneath the stars again, like I did when I was in the service.
Back in the day, man. Yep.
Oh man, we used to sleep underneath the stars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We wouldn't even have a sleeping bag. We'll just literally just put our rucksack down and just put our head on it, and then sleep with our boots undone a little bit, and that was it. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into some of the questions I wanted to ask. Again, this is it's going to come into your military career and stuff like that, which I know your YouTube channel really haven't got much into it with talking about it.
Yeah, this is a first. Those that watch my channel or that will be, this is my first exposure where I'm mixing my two lives. Where I used to shave every day, and I did 24 years in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, and now once you get out, you're not shaving every day.
You know how it goes.
The only thing I keep is my haircut.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I mean this would fly in the military now, but yeah, I mean you can only spot the veteran. He's got a beard.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Always say that, man.
Yeah. So it goes into. Can you share some of the most significant challenge that you faced during your time in the military, and how did you overcome them?
Well, to answer your question, Doug, one thing that was I always found challenging was the impermanence. I know we talked about that earlier.
Yep.
You never know where you're going to be in 3 or 4 years or 2 years. You couldn't really lay down roots in your area because just so many factors go into transferring and rotating and if you advance to a certain rank, you're gonna be subject to moving, and your family's gonna have to pick up and follow you. So that was I found that the hardest. Some people love it; they always want to go to a different spot, and they love seeing different parts of the country or the world, and that's cool. I totally agree with that. But your family likes to know where they're going to be. So that was very challenging.
No, and I could just imagine, again, me being, when I got in, I'm in my third marriage. All right, for instance.
Yep.
A
veteran, man.
It's absolutely, I'm a veteran just of the armed forces and a veteran of being married. Again, it's not for everybody. Having a family, it's very hard on the family, let alone seeing you deploy, but also seeing that, they're going to be changing duty stations so often. It's almost like you're changing duty stations just like you are changing your underwear. You're always on the move. A lot of us always lived out of our go bag.
Right? You don't even unpack.
You don't.
Yep.
You really just you work right out of that, and that's it.
And we always said hello, goodbye.
Yeah.
Hey, nice knowing you. See you later.
Yep.
And maybe you'll cross paths, but probably not.
Yeah. No, it's there was always those challenges, and I can't tell you enough that it's very hard on a lot of men and women that are in the armed forces. And now you doing your whole stealth camping, that's going to be kind of a little bit challenging, maybe with the Mrs. Hoppy camper.
Yeah. Yes. It definitely is, and it's a whole different lifestyle, and it's a whole different aspect, and it's a whole different amount of opening up.
Yeah.
And sharing.
Yep.
Which is not something I'm used to, so it makes it extremely challenging. I'll be honest, it's harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, and I can, again,
You and in your social media outreach, you see that.
Oh, I do, and I see it so often, just through this, through the social media.
Yeah.
I get a lot of feedback from people saying, dude, you really hit it on the head.
Yeah.
It's dead on.
And you're putting yourself out there.
Yep.
And it's a lot. And it's not something I'm used to, so it is a challenge.
Yeah, which I mean, it's a challenge for a lot for people, and we all understand it. And I know at first for me it was kind of hard because again I was one of the ones that wanted to be kind of secluded.
Yeah, I got you.
I always wanted to be just
Yeah.
by myself, not worrying about anybody else. But then I went through a whole struggle in my career. I started to isolate myself even from my family.
Oh, okay.
I isolated myself from my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing things that, a father shouldn't be doing by, not seeing his kids, not being there for his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally had to look back and say, you know what? I shouldn't be doing this. I need to be there for my kids. And
Turned it around.
Good
for you, man.
This was one way. It was kind of a way to get myself out there back.
I got you.
I
got you. Yep. Yep, I know what you mean, man.
And that's basically what it comes down to. And
I know what you mean. I mean, mine's one video at a time.
yeah,
And you know, and you put one out and you feel like you hit a home run, and then you gotta, you know, you can't stop.
yep,
And I always said that about the military, is that we would deploy and we would do some really great things,
Yeah.
humanitarian and responding and everything. And, you know, the Haiti earthquake,
Yep.
Which I'm sure we'll cover.
Yeah.
But I always said even then, like, hey, you guys, we hit a home run. Cool. Now get back to work, back to the drawing board, and we're gonna go back and do it again.
Yeah, no. And speaking of the Haiti, because I know I've talked to a few other people, you were there during the relief efforts of all that, correct?
Yes, the January 2010, the earthquake.
Now, as a lot of people know, you know, again, my wife's family, their daughter, which would be my wife's, like, I think second cousin or first cousin.
Yep.
Was the one that was the U.S. the U.S. Citizen that was killed over there.
Oh.
Brittany.
Wow.
Brittany Gangle.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah, and her father Leonard still runs the Be Like Brit. Well,
Wow.
his mother, her mother and father still run it.
Wow.
But yeah, they're my wife's cousins.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I didn't know anything. You know, I've been to Haiti myself.
Okay.
I've talked about it. It's an experience that, you know, I kind of enjoyed. I enjoyed going to Haiti. It was during a missionary trip. Enjoyed it. But again, it's a whole nother third world country that you can lose your shirt easily.
Yeah. You almost want to call it like a fourth world country. It's just down there, man.
It is, and there's a lot of the places down there. Once you got out of Port-au-Prince, it was into a lot of voodoo and stuff like that.
Yes.
And
yes.
it was kind of creeping me out, but in the same token, it's where my childhood self wanted to come out and be like, I wanted to venture out. I want to see more of this.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of get of an idea because without venturing out and seeing what's going on, it was kind of like you don't really know what's going on.
No.
You're only being sheltered by, you know, the people there for the missionary trip.
Absolutely, man. You know, and you know, I don't know how you put this, but a white guy in Haiti, you know, is not normal.
No.
But they just assume you're rich or whatever, but you are somewhat sheltered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to immerse yourself.
You do. You gotta be able to control yourself. You gotta be able to control your emotions, because as going there, a lot of Americans are the ones that will just be like, here's $10, here's $20, here's $100. We'll give the money off of, you know, out of our pockets. We'll give the shirt off our backs, but not realizing, you know, by the time you get out of there, you know, within the first hour, you could be completely have no money, no clothing, just be down to maybe your underwear if you're lucky
Yeah.
to keep it. But it's everywhere that you would go, you would see it and you'd be like, wow, you got to give, and it's like, no, you got to pump the brakes a little bit and be able to say, okay, enough is enough for today.
Yes.
I'm not gonna do anymore. But
I got you.
as you're being down there, you know, on, you know, the humanitarian part of it, you know, you were probably out there as people I've talked about in the previous episodes and stuff like that. You know, they told me stories that, you know, it was like you would pick up, you know, raft people that were on a raft that were
sail
miles
friends.
and miles
Yep.
and stuff out,
Yep.
and it was like you would rescue them, bring them back onto the boat. They were kind of scared because they didn't want to go back.
No, they didn't
because
wanna go
they didn't
back.
know the whole idea of what was going to be happening.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and again, that's just the whole thing regarding the humanitarian. You don't know what they're running from or
Nope.
why they're running.
Yep.
You just know that you have to do your duty, which is take these individuals, save them from being out in the ocean that could be lost forever.
Yep. Right. Because who knows how many you lose? You know.
Correct.
We nobody's counting how many go out there.
No.
And yeah, we'd have to repatriate them.
Yep.
It's really funny. I did that I was on a ship out of Maine. We go to Haiti all the time, and I did that for 4 years. And you'd see the same ones.
Yeah.
You know, we'd see the same ones over and over again.
And not for anything, but you know, if they're not carrying any water, you know, they're drinking the seawater, which a lot of people don't realize. Drinking seawater is going to make you more
You lose
dehydrated.
your mind.
Yeah, you will.
Yep.
You absolutely will. And let alone that, the sun that's coming down, beating down on you. If you haven't seen some of the movies, even like what's that one with Tom Hanks? The
Castaway.
Castaway.
Yeah.
You know, it was like he was being baked alive because again, that's all you got. You have the sun
man.
coming down onto the water,
Yep,
reflecting back up, which will then burn you. Again, if you sit out in a pool or you sit out at the ocean with that water, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
You're going to get baked.
Yep.
Okay, well, if you're on a raft, you're not really preparing yourself to, you know, have suntan lotion and
No, they don't have anything. Yeah.
It's not the same, and
No,
it's
it's crazy. They're desperate people, you know. And people would say, like, "What was it like after the earthquake?" And I'd be like, "Dude, it was bad before."
yeah. Imagine it just on steroids even after the fact, because
Dude.
now it's
Now it's all rubble. You
Yeah.
know, it was bad before though, and we had spent a lot of time in Cap Haitian and Port-au-Prince before the earthquake. And when the earthquake hit, we were actually on a port call in Gimbo. Not really a port call. It wasn't for fun. It was just to resupply.
yeah.
And on the dock, you could feel it shake. So Gimbo, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how far away. It was 8 hours transit. So whatever that is at 20 knots, you know, let's just say it's 200 miles away, and you could feel the earthquake there.
And that's just that's just not even being up onto in Haiti. It's like that's disgustingly crazy that you're getting that much, you know, aftershock to
200 miles away.
200 miles away here,
And
that you're still feeling it.
And you know, they didn't have any building codes or anything, so these buildings were made of nothing, and so they cracked. And I don't know what the final numbers were. 250,000 people or something.
One is one too many.
Yes.
And 250,000 is nuts. And again, you speak of building code. They don't know what building code is.
No.
We used to, when we do the missionary trip, it was we would be putting up these churches for them, and it's crazy. Now, as you know, everybody knows and may know of the Be Like Brit. They've built this compound that can stand hurricane winds, that can stand the earthquakes.
Yeah.
Is what my understanding is they Leonard Gangle, and I can't remember his wife's name, but if I called someone up, I can get the answer. But it's absolutely amazing of everything that they sold off just to build something that Brittany wanted to do over in Haiti.
Yeah.
And that was build something that is going to be a good shelter for them.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
again, I can't really tell the viewers, or maybe even you be able to tell the viewers. It's like it's something that when you go there, it's crazy. It's just imagine yourself living out in the woods.
Yeah.
And having nothing.
Nothing. No, I don't. You know, and the captain of my ship, you've had him on your podcast, Jim Spots. That was a great interview, and he had been the liaison officer for Haiti before he came to the ship, so he's very familiar. But he called it. It was a pack of dogs.
Yeah.
That's how they operate. Like there's the alpha male, and everybody else is just cowers to him.
Yeah.
So it's such a different world.
You know what it reminds me of? It's really Lion King, the pack of hyenas.
Sure. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
then you got Mufasa. Mufasa.
Absolutely. It's
But
just like that.
That's how they work out there. That's how they operate. That's as us in the military would call it, our SOP, how we will, our standard operation procedures.
Yep.
That's how we would run. So it's crazy.
It is nuts, man.
But going back into, again with your not your podcast, but your YouTube station, your YouTube channel and everything, and into the next question is, how was your military experience influencing your approach to leadership, and leadership and teamwork in both your personal and professional life?
So it taught me a lot. The military taught me a lot how to lead a team, and how to encourage people
Yeah.
to do things they don't want to do, and willingly. And that's what I always viewed leadership as, and getting results.
Yeah.
And so I do that. I operate that now as in my family. I'm not this. My wife will say I am. I'm a little strict. She'll say that military, and I'm not. But I do use it to teach my kids, how to get results. And
Yeah.
in the end, you still got to do the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do it together, or just whatever it takes to get you to do this job willingly. And you can complain, you can kick and scream, or whatever.
Yeah.
But one thing we learned is that you got to do it.
Yeah, you work together to get it done. As I would always say, is I look at my kids and I'm like, listen, this hand right here, this can go through metal just like a warm knife going through butter.
Nice. Yep.
And
Yes.
I was like, I can help you, or you can do it alone.
Yep.
You make the choice.
Yep.
They finally make the choice of, yeah, we'll do it together.
There you go.
It's like that's how easy it is. It's not that I'm trying to be mean to you or bully you, because it's not. It's teaching you how to function in society when my job as a parent is done and over with, which technically is never done and over with. I'm always going to teach them.
Right.
And show them the way. It's to be able to get them to understand once they turn 18, they're an adult themselves.
Yeah. Yes.
I can't get them out of trouble. I can only prevent them to getting themselves in trouble. And that's it.
My oldest is just turned 16, so he just got his license. And we've shown him, hey, now you're in the world of adult problems, man.
Yep.
You these are your problems. So hopefully I've prepared you enough to be able to avoid them.
Yep. No, absolutely. And that's my oldest is he's 15, but will be 16 here this August.
Yeah.
He had his first job.
Yep.
He's been working his first job for almost a year now.
Yeah.
He had to give it up because of two reasons. Two reasons were, one, he was failing his classes, and that was unacceptable. And the second reason why is because he finally looked at his life and said, I'm not getting enough hours, one, to even have the reason to have this job, because he was only getting 8 hours a week.
Yep.
And he says, those 8 hours I could actually turn around and use those 8 hours to do my schoolwork
No.
that I'm failing in.
No, we can't have that.
So he made the decision when myself and his mother talked to him, and he made the decision and saying, I'm going to give it up.
Uh-huh.
I allowed him to make the choice before I had to make the choice.
Yeah, I got you.
So he took it, and now, he's getting his grades back up. He's back up
Good,
to having mostly A's, 1B, and I think 1C now.
Oh, good.
So,
there you go.
It's now just trying to get that C, hopefully.
Yeah. It's a struggle, man.
But it's biology. He's not too fond with it.
Yeah.
But, he's doing very well. He also got into the program once he got into high school to do junior ROTC, the Marine
good.
Corps junior ROTC.
Yeah.
So
My oldest is in ROTC too, man.
why not?
Yeah,
It's-
dude. No, it exposes them to the leadership we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I did it when I was in school. I did all 4 years.
Good for you, man.
I got an extra promotion when I went into the service. I did.
There you go. Yeah, you came in a higher rank.
Yeah, I ended up getting my E2 as soon as I went into basic. Once I got a basic, I graduated. I got my E3 because of my PT score and everything that finally I was hitting off the chart. But I could not run a day in my life to save me before I went in.
Oh, I'm with you, dude. Yep. Running was my enemy, man.
19 minutes to do 1 mile.
Oh, dude. Yep.
Tell you, these drill sergeants, they were like all over me like flies on crap.
I was the same way, man. Running was not my friend. But then in 2017, I ran a marathon.
Nah, you won't see me in a marathon.
It was what was it, 7 years ago or 6.5? It was like October, but
Where?
Yeah,
Which one was it?
it was in Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine.
Yeah, which is an out and back hills, man.
My
I did a marathon. It was crazy.
I might be able to do a half marathon.
One of those things. I was like, I gotta check this box. I did one and done, dude.
Yeah.
We did a half one year, and then I did a fully the next.
See, and I may do a half. I've done 5Ks and all that.
Yeah.
I finished second.
Nice. Wow.
I did it for the River Rat race up in Athol, Mass.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so.
I got to get back into it, man. The thing about my channel also
Yeah.
is it takes a lot of physical fitness to
Yeah.
be able to do what I'm doing.
Oh, I can just imagine because you got to hike through the woods.
I'm hiking through the woods, hiking mountains, carrying all this gear is heavy.
Have you ever thought about hiking the Appalachian Trail?
Absolutely, yes.
From the start to the end?
Yes. Starting in Georgia,
Georgia.
going north. So starting in Georgia in April, whenever they usually do. I have thought about it. I don't know, man.
I've been thinking about it.
Have you?
I've had one person I know do it, and they got all the way up to like Virginia, West Virginia.
Yep.
And then they stopped because it was just getting so cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When did they start?
The beginning of spring.
Really? And so it was
Yeah.
still cold. It was still cold. Yeah.
It was, well, it took. I would have to ask, but I know it took them some days. But, this person also was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire too. She's like off the Richter scale for having the high IQ of like Albert Einstein.
I was on that show.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Don't forget that.
That's a secret. That's a secret nobody knows, man.
Oh man,
I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, dude.
dude. That holy cow!
I did it in 2006.
I don't know when she did it.
I wore my Bravos, man. I
Yeah.
full dress, and I was on Meredith Vieira was the host, and I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You'll never see it though.
So you must have a high IQ then.
I did good on the tests and stuff. Yeah, I don't, not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah.
I remember I went to New York for the test, and
Yeah.
there was the room was full of people, and you took a test, and that thinned it out immediately, and
Yeah.
so I was still standing, and it probably 10% of us were still there.
I can only imagine of how many people actually take the test or go and get this and be able to get on the show.
It was so weird, man. It was so
And
weird.
I've seen so many like shows where things people are like cheating
yeah
their way through it.
yeah.
They have someone in the audience happy, and it's
there you
like
go, yeah.
it's like, are you serious? Like, you can't win this on your own.
It's. I will say, it went well. I'm not a millionaire, man.
Yeah. She isn't either. She got up there, and then she dropped down to I think 1,000 because she didn't get that answer. And
dude, those lights are bright, and the camera's on you, and you're just like.
Let alone that, you got everybody that's in the audience.
Yeah, dude, and
that's just kind of.
And before you go on, there's like 3 years. I spent 2 days in the green room, man, just waiting. And then before you can see the stage, and you're in there. You can hear the music.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of us, and they don't tell you which one of you is going. So you're just standing there, and then, and then you're going, and then oh man.
And now you're in the seats with
You're in the
everybody.
seat. Yep. Yep.
and then now you got to go and
You
try
got to
to
answer questions.
answer
man.
questions.
And
to
I
get
was
up.
like one of the hurdle questions, like $1,000 question. It was like something about the Shah of Iran, and I just expected easier questions that down low, man.
That's crazy.
It was man, that was hard. It was hard, dude.
I can just imagine, some of these things. It's these questions are just it's out there, but that's going to be a whole nother story. We're going to have to definitely talk about this whole you were on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I may have to see if I can get the other person to get.
That'd be cool.
her
Yeah,
on the-
I've
her
met
on
someone
here.
else who did it too, and we all have the same story, man.
And I'll tell you, she studies with a group of they meet like occasionally of these high IQ people,
No kidding.
and they talk and they literally go through questions, and it's like,
Wow.
dude, that's disgusting. I've never even heard that,
Wow.
and it's like that answer.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's
You know,
the guy. I was in the green room with him for 2 days, and he came on after me, and he saw the $1 million question. He knew the answer, but he didn't have the. He stopped at 500.
Oh,
But he knew the answer, and the question was, before it was a catalog company, what did Sears sell? Like 1920s or something. And
wouldn't it be tools?
no, dude, it was watches.
Watches.
Yeah, he knew the answer, and he said the answer, and I think he 50-50'd it,
Yeah.
but he didn't.
He didn't feel comfortable.
No, he didn't feel comfortable.
Because it was probably two of those two answers were probably.
He only had one phone a friend, and it was and his friend was sitting at a computer, and it was a computer program. And they had written it.
Yeah.
And so his phone a friend, he just went Sears, watches, and whatever the other option was. Sears, watches, furniture. And the guy just goes, I don't know what he said. He might have 50-50'd it from there.
Jesus.
But, so whatever his answer was, but it was crazy. They had written a code, and he was telling me about this in the green room. And I was like, wow, man.
That's amazing. It's like Jesus, man, that's crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And he could have gotten $1 million, but he stopped.
So this was going to lead me into another question with you is, what advice do you have for military families that may be facing the challenges that that relate to deployments, like going into Haiti and stuff like that? What do you have advice for them to be able to go off of?
Well, like in my experience, and I'm sure in yours too, man, you just keep going, keep moving forward. You're not going to quit, you're not going to stop. It's just putting your nose to the grindstone, and that's just in life in general. But that patrol is going to end. That deployment is going to end. Just keep going forward, and it'll get better. And that's the advice I always give. I mean, we'd be heading south, to go into Haiti or whatever. I spent 6 months in the Persian Gulf. We'd do 30 days at sea before we even see land again.
Yeah.
So you'd come out of Puget Sound. I was stationed in Seattle, and you'd come out of Puget Sound.
Yeah.
And the last buoy was called the J buoy.
Yeah.
So you're outside the Puget Sound, which is an 8-hour transit to Seattle, and turn left at the J buoy, and then it gets real.
Yeah.
Then it gets real, man. You're going to be gone a while. So, and that was 6 months, 182 days on a ship. I don't, and that, there are people that like they didn't meet their kids for 6 months, or
Jesus.
that's challenging.
It's very challenging. It's a toll taking. I mean, let alone seeing your significant other.
That's hard, man.
That takes a toll on a lot of people, and that's why I tell people nowadays, it's like, don't rush into getting married as soon as you
these young guys, man,
going into the service, because
they just want to get off base housing, so they're like, I gotta get married.
Well, you know what? You don't need to be married to get off base housing nowadays.
Yeah.
You can just get the BAH and go and get an apartment with 2 other guys that you're serving with.
Yep.
Dude,
they get married so quick. You're right.
And
then it just crumbles.
It crumbles. It's going to be then an epic fail, and then you're going to be part of the statistics of by the time you were hitting your E3 rank, you're already been married 3 times.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's what E3 means. Right?
yeah. It's until you finally get to the E5, and then you're like, yeah, I realize I should not have married.
Wicked lucky, man. This my Mrs. Hoppy, my beautiful wife, is. We've been together since 2000.
Wow.
And actually, we got together right after that deployment I was just talking about in the Persian Gulf, and she's just been, my rock. I've been very lucky.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any of those issues. So
and that's one of the successful stories. I've been married again. Like I said, I've been married 3 times. My second wife, I was married for 9 years. And stuff, and then my third marriage, I've now been not married, since 7-8 years now.
Wow.
So
3 marriages, man. Like high fives, dude.
Yeah.
That's 2 more than I.
What the first one was it was married, and then by the time I got done with AIT, I was getting my divorce.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's not even a year.
No, dude.
That was bad.
It's challenging.
It's
hard, man. But just like we said, just keep going forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and
keep moving, man.
My final question to you is, how do you maintain your sense of connections with your comrades that you served with? If you stay in contact with some of them, how do you usually try to do it? Do you guys meet up? Do you guys just talk over the phone, shoot the shit?
Well, you do have cell phones have come a long way. You really don't lose contact with them anymore. I mean, for me and you, it's kind of recent.
Yeah.
Kids these days will never lose touch.
Yeah.
But the older, shipmates, they're gone to me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't stay a lot in touch. Unfortunately, with them. But
Yeah.
Facebook helps that.
Yeah.
The best part of my channel is that people can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So they know if they want to tune in, if they want to be a part of it, they can reach me that way. So that's kind of cool, and a lot of them have. Again, it's kind of a weak spot of mine. I don't, I did the military thing, and it's 2 years ago I retired, and it's 2 years in the rearview mirror, and I haven't really. This is the most military thing I've done since, man. Is talking about it, and which drumming it back up. You have these emotions, of course. And so this is the most I've reconnected with it, and talking with you about it, and this is the biggest step I've done, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Because I went Hoppy. I'm camping, beard, and sometimes I have to remember that was that 24 years happened, man.
Yeah.
So it's because I'm living such a different life now.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what a lot of us military guys do is once we get out, sometimes we don't stay connected with the whole military thing because it could be either one, you did 20 plus years and now it's like you've got out and, now you're living not secluded life, but you're living,
very different.
Very different. You're not in, housing communities where like for instance where I'm at, you're not next door to each other. Or you're not, you're also not, I would say, close to civilization.
Yes.
So now you're out in the woods and, or say sticks, you're out, out there and you're enjoying your life. You're enjoying what you want to do, and that's being out with Mother Nature. And being part of Mother Nature,
it's just different. It's very different, and I do miss the shipmate component. I say I could have spent Christmas morning at anybody's house, woken up on their couch, and it would have been part of the family. And so that's the worst part.
Yeah,
losing that.
Yeah, I mean, which you don't ever lose it. I'll tell you that.
You're right.
You will never lose it because, again, if you go and visit anybody. Or go to, say, another state, and you go into a VFW or American Legion, or you go into places that other veterans are at, right outside of Fort Bragg or whatnot. It's like you go there and you're back with friends. even though you may not even known them now for only 30 minutes of being at the bar.
Yeah.
But
Speak
they will.
the same language, man.
You still speak the same language, and they would be like, "Oh, you need a place? Probably come crash over at my house. I got the couch. I mean,
right, dude, you're dead right.
have at it, And that's
You're
what I
dead
was. And that's what I was telling, Jim, and I've told Scott, and I've told other people. I'm saying, hey, it's that same feeling when you go out, and you meet other veterans. That door will always be open.
Yes, completely.
Because it's a close bond
Yep.
that we have with one another.
Yep, completely.
So it's just another family.
Yep, it's an absolute brotherhood, man. It's a family, and so you can. It's like you never even skipped a beat when you go back in.
Yep.
Which is what's awesome about it. It's a brotherhood because we do call each other brother.
Yep.
I've noticed that entirely, man. So I love it. I love it. I haven't dipped too far into that yet, like the Legion or the VFW. I gotta get more into the Legion. I'd like to.
I got into the VFW.
Nice.
I got into a little bit of the Legion, but I don't know. It's still with a lot of older generation, which I love to still talk and chat with them.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I just can't find myself to going at 11 o'clock in the morning.
No, dude.
And going down.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people do. I don't
Yep.
mind it. I just don't want it part of myself where I'm going down at 11 o'clock in the morning and having a couple beers in the morning.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm already having my own issue from that. I probably, if I didn't have that issue, I probably would be, having a few, not making it any worse or anything. But
yeah, I got you, man.
It's just fun, but sometimes it's a little too much.
I got you. Yep.
You know, and that's why I've stuck with the VFW, and the VFW I belong to is in Bridgewater, and
Bridgewater, Connecticut.
Bridgewater, Mass.
Okay, no, this is Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no bar there or anything. It's just a building. It has a kitchen and all that, and that's it.
Oh, cool.
So, which I haven't been to lately because I had surgery last year, at the end of the year, and then I've just been working since this year. I've been working ridiculous hours. Like you and I were talking earlier, I'm already at 150-something, 160-something hours of overtime.
And it's February.
Yeah, we're only in February 4th. So, with that all being said, I'm going to go and cut it for this episode, and we're going to catch you guys later, and we'll probably pick up and have another episode with Hoppy Camper here probably in a couple months, maybe start off the springtime.
Hey, that'd be cool, man. That'd be really cool.
And I may have to come out that way, and we may have to go camping somewhere.
Hell yeah, man.
Or some stealth camp.
Yeah, when the leaves are back, so you can actually hide.
Yes, absolutely. Which I'm gonna probably stick out like a sore thumb because I look like a big old friggin' Yeti.
Well,
myself.
you see, I got a bunch of neon green on, so I stick out too, man. It's okay.
I got the belly. Got to make sure we got to bring enough food.
Yeah, there you go. Enough beer too, man.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me, Doug. This was a blast, man.
Oh, absolutely, and definitely appreciate you having coming on, and we're gonna have all the links and everything to your page down below in the comments.
Yeah.
We're gonna have I'm gonna have a little video that's gonna kick off before we even bring him on to start off the episode, everybody. So please definitely be on the look on seeing that, and then we'll be answering any questions that you have down in the comments and stuff. And if you want to support Hoppy Camper, he's definitely got the stuff that's out there. Feel free to help him out and pick up any swag that they have out there, because I know they have the shirts, they have the mugs.
Yep, check it out.
Check
it out. I got mugs. I got everything. HoppyCamperNH.com, Hoppy Camper on YouTube.
Yep.
And yeah, man, just check it out. Subscribe. I do this. Give me them subbies.
Yeah.
Subscribe for me, would you? It helps the channel grow and keeps me going, man. And
absolutely.
Love it.
And make sure everybody does that. I'll be on the lookout making sure that you do it. And if I don't see it, I'll be giving you a ring.
Yeah, hook me up.
So until next time, everybody, we'll catch you guys later.
Thank you for supporting Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast. Please make sure to like and follow Homeland Heroes on all of your social media outlets. Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast is a Foo Bar Studios Sinister One co-production.